When you're in love with someone and that person is in love with another person, it's not always best to reveal how you feel about them. Some feelings are better left unsaid, especially if they're not going to be reciprocated. It can lead to heartache and pain, something that we don't want for ourselves or our loved ones. These stories are cautionary tales of what happens when you let your feelings get the best of you. From unrequited love to forbidden romance, these stories will make you wonder if some feelings are better left unspoken. So let's dive in. The sound of her laughter echoed through the library, tinkling like wind chimes in the quiet space. Elias looked up from his book, his gaze drawn to the source of the sound. A girl with hair the color of burnt umber and eyes that shone like polished amber. Her name was Amara, and she was the new addition to the small town of Oakhaven. He'd seen her around, of course, but today was the first time he'd heard her laugh, and it had been love at first sound. Over the next few weeks, Elias saw Amara everywhere he went, at the bakery, buying ingredients for her grandmother's famous apple pie, at the town square, where she'd sit on a bench feeding the pigeons, and even at the library, where he'd find her nose deep in a book, just like him. He found himself drawn to her, captivated by her spirit and her zest for life. He wanted to know everything about her, and so he did. They formed a bond over their shared love of books, and he learned about her passion for baking, her dream of traveling the world, and the twinkle in her eye whenever she talked about her family. Elias had never felt this way about anyone. He was head over heels in love with Amara. But there was a problem. Or rather, there were two problems. The first was that Elias was painfully shy. While he could talk for hours about books and the fictional characters that populated his imagination, he was tongue-tied when it came to Amara. The second problem was that Amara was engaged to marry a man named Liam, a wealthy landowner from a neighboring town. Elias had seen the way Liam looked at Amara, possessive and controlling, and it made his stomach twist with jealousy. Still, he knew he had no right to interfere. Amara and Liam seemed happy together, or at least that's what he told himself. One day, while walking home from the library, Elias and Amara stopped at the town square to admire the fountain. The water flowed like liquid silver, sparkling in the afternoon sun. Amara leaned against the stone balustrade, and for a moment, Elias worked up the courage to tell her how he felt. "Amara," he began, his voice barely a whisper. But before he could utter another word, Liam appeared beside them, his face dark with anger. "Amara," he said, his voice like thunder. "We need to go home." Amara glanced at Elias, her eyes questioning. "But I thought," she started. "There's no time," Liam interrupted, taking Amara's hand and pulling her away. As they walked away, Elias stood rooted to the spot, his heart breaking into 1,000 pieces. He knew then that he had to do something drastic to win Amara's love. Meanwhile, Amara felt a growing unease in her heart. She couldn't shake off the feeling that she was making a mistake. Her grandmother's words echoed in her ears. "Don't settle for someone who doesn't make you happy, Mara." But it was too late. The wedding preparations were in full swing, and everyone in town was looking forward to the big event. On the day of the wedding, Amara stood at the altar, her heart heavy with dread. She looked at Liam, his face handsome yet cold, and realized she didn't know him as well as she thought she did. Just as she was about to say her vows, she stopped. "I'm sorry, Liam," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I can't marry you." She turned and fled the church, running as fast as she could away from the life that was planned out for her and towards the unknown future that awaited her. When Elias heard that Amara had left Liam at the altar, he rushed to her side, his heart pounding with hope. Could this be his chance to win her love? Together, they ran away from Oakhaven, seeking a new life in a distant city. Elias worked as a librarian, and Amara opened a small bakery, her cakes and pastries becoming famous throughout the city. They lived a simple life, but it was a happy one, filled with love and laughter. One day, however, a letter arrived from Oakhaven, and Amara's heart sank. It was from her parents, inviting her to come back home. They were worried about her and wanted her to return. Amara looked at Elias, his face etched with worry. "What should I do?" she asked. Elias knew what a difficult decision this was for Amara. He wanted her to be happy, even if it meant letting her go. "Do what your heart tells you to do," he said, his voice thick with emotion. When Amara returned to Oakhaven, she was greeted with angry looks and hushed whispers. Everyone was talking about her, and none of it was good. She had broken the town's social order by leaving Liam at the altar and now she was back, a pariah in her own hometown. But amidst all the hate, there was one person who welcomed her back with open arms, her grandmother. The old woman pulled Amara into a tight hug, her wrinkled face creased with concern. "Oh, my darling," she whispered. "I was so worried about you." After spending some time with her family, Amara knew what she had to do. She packed her bags and returned to the city with Elias, her heart lighter than it had been in months. She had faced her fears and chosen love over societal pressure. And in doing so, she had found true happiness. They had built a beautiful life together, brick by loving brick. And she wouldn't trade it for all the money and status that Liam had offered her. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more such amazing content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.